In this video, SPSS Lab Session 1, we're going to show you how to add labels and then some value labels to your data set that you just created. I'm going to go back over to my data view just so that you can see. You should have now a data set that includes all of these variables, ID, period, gender, ethnicity, and all the way across. Okay, you can check your work there. You got that information from your data, your dummy data table. And we're going to go back over to variable view and we're going to add labels. Now, you could type all of the names to the labels. And in some data sets, like this one, they're going to be identical. There are other data sets where sometimes the names are really long and then you want to use a shorter label. For our purpose here, you can drag that, click and drag that whole column and copy that. Just copy that list, go over here, click and drag, highlight it, and you can paste it. That just will save you a little time. Now there, if you look at the bottom of your dummy data sheet, you'll see that there's some coding. And we want to add what we would call value labels for a couple of these variables. First one we're going to start with is gender. And right now there's no value label associated with it. If you click on that column, you see you get this little box that appears. And if I click on that box, it's asking me the value I have in my table, what should I label that value? And if you look below, the value I have, number 1, should be labeled male, M-A-L-E. And then I click add. And then I do that same thing, repeat that process for 2, and that equals female. And I add that. When I'm finished, I just click OK. And now I have values for each of that for that variable gender. And if I go back to data view, I can see there's my gender, and I still have my numbers. And I can also go up here and look at my values, and there's my female. I'm going to turn those off for a minute. I'm going to go back over, and I also want to do the same thing for ethnicity. Right now there's no value for each of those numbers, so I'm going to add them. And you would repeat the same process. For my value 1, that's Caucasian. And I want to add that. I would do the same thing. 2 equals Hispanic. 3 equals Asian. 4 equals African American. And you can abbreviate, that's up to you. Or you can spell it out, whatever you want to do. And then 5 was for other. Make sure you click add each time that you have the entire list and click OK. If I go back over to my data view, I can go under view and show me value labels, and now it's associating those numbers with the value label. I'd like you to repeat this process for Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5 under the variable view. What you're going to do is look at your coding, and this will take you a little bit of time, but for 1, that equaled strongly agree or disagree. And you would click add. 2 equaled disagree. Add, and so forth. Go all the way through that entire list. I'm going to just cancel that. And what you'll end up with is you're going to have values for each of these that when you toggle back over to your data view, you can quickly see what each one of those meant. So go ahead and add your labels and the value labels by using your coding at the bottom of the dummy data table. And that ends SPSS Lab Session 1, adding labels and value labels.